Find a niche and become the expert. One thing I've noticed about all top performers that I've worked with is they all have a niche. And I'm sure a lot of you have a niche. Sometimes it comes from a background before promotional products that you were in. But when you find a niche, become the expert in it, and then make sure your clients know or prospects know that you're an expert in that area. I'll give you an example. We have a salesperson that's very strong in the medical business, not just hospitals, but biomedical firms. Was a lot into pharma. That's changed a little bit if you haven't noticed over the last few years, but strong in the medical marketing business. Well, on her business card, it doesn't say account executive or branding specialist or anything. It says medical marketing branding specialist or medical marketing specialist. And so, and probably has other general cards too for other types of businesses. But the point here is if you're very strong in the financial industry, why not make 500 business cards up that says financial marketing specialist? And have some specialized cards. It implies that you are an expert with them. Then you walk the walk once you gain favor with them. But heck, if I was selling again today, I'd probably have 5 different sets of cards and be right there on my passenger seat, and whatever I was going in to call on, hey, I'm an expert in your area, because I can talk the talk enough with different industries that it's going to be credible. So why not? Be an expert. Get to know the best suppliers and how to really use their services. We have a lot of diverse suppliers in our industry, and you really need to know how to utilize them best. I'm talking about their websites and things that they provide as services. And we're going to talk about some value-added services here in a minute. But really get to know your best suppliers. And especially now, going back to some of the problems we've had in China, make sure you're working with good suppliers that have quality product and aren't going to have issues. Don't always look at price, because that can come back to haunt you these days, because there are some issues. Learn how to protect your margins. There are a lot of ways to protect your gross margin out there through value-added service, through little add-ons that you can do that are special, and I'll come back to that because we're going to talk about it a little bit more. Understand your client and really listen to them. It's so important. That's why they say we were born with one mouth and 2 ears. You really have to listen more than you speak when you're with clients or prospects, and really understand what their needs are. So learn to be a great listener. Understand the importance of value-added service. Quick question. I'm sure a lot of you sell embroidery, right? Embroidered jobs. How many of you add another item on every single embroidery job that a client asks you to produce for them? Any of you do that? Every single order, you bring in something new. Why not? Your embroiderer doesn't really charge you anymore except one more run, and if they order polo shirts and you're working with the executive, why not order in a vest that accompanies that polo shirt, have that one item embroidered at the same time? The whole thing might cost you, what, 15 bucks, 20 bucks, and then that comes to you and you present it to that buyer. Say, I was thinking about you ordered polo shirts. I really appreciate that business. But you also have your staff, your key staff that's going to be at that meeting. Why don't we have the polo shirt with the embroidery on the sleeve, but this nice vest that would go along with it for your top staff? Or something along that line. Think of an idea behind it, but always order in another item with embroidery jobs. And it's not just embroidery. If you talk to your key suppliers on the floor these next couple of days, you'll find that there are items that can be embossed and debossed, some of the printing methods where they can send accompanying items for you on your jobs very inexpensively or sometimes free. Because it's just like another spec sample. They will know that it's going to add business to them and add business for you. So think about ways to add value-added service to your clients, and those are a couple ways. Other ways would be custom packaging that you might do at your office, little kitting projects that you do where you put things together for clients and get them out. Those are all, if you propose that as value-added service that you provide that other people don't, those are things that top producers think about. Learn how to prepare professional quotes to close business. Man, when I started in the business, we would put the little flags on the catalog pages and walk into clients in the 80s. If you're doing that today, it's way behind the times. So professional quotes are what our key clients want to see out of us today, and very easy to understand. The people that we do business with today are so busy because there has been a downturn and a lot of executives and middle management people are taking on more responsibility, and that includes our arena. So to have concise quotes that are very descriptive and leaves nothing to the imagination is many times the way that's going to earn business for you, that if they don't understand what somebody else is proposing, it's going to lose business for them. So think about that and learn how to do the best informative quotes that will gain the business for you. Yes?
Just one question. I'm wondering, if you do a quote, is it better to itemize everything instead of the price of the item, or put it all in together?
The question is it better to itemize each item or lump them all in together? I tell you, what I like is a Word document type informative quote. What I like to do, I know there's easy ways to quote on, center stage presentations or the Sage tools, the different, whatever you use as a tool. But, I tend to like a Word document where you can cut and paste the image of the item, put a full description of exactly what your idea and plan is, and stage them one after the other on there, and then have an intro in the Word document, which is, thank you for the opportunity. Here's, based on our discussions, below is what I propose for your event or your trade show or whatever, and here's why. You list their objective. Here's the objectives that you explained to me, and here's what I'm solving for you in this. Then you list, with a description of each item, how you're going about it. Like, let's just take a trade show. Your first item on there might be a box of nuts from Maple Ridge or whatever for the room with the agenda in the box. List it out, why you put that. And then the next item might be a Padfolio for the meeting room, the first day of the meeting. Put that in there. And then at the end, do a summary of ROI. Here's what, here's all of these things are within the budget that you and I talked about. Here's what it's going to do for you, and here's the summary of how this all comes together. That's how I like to do them, but the key is I like to put it all together but be descriptive at the same time. Yes?
I was thinking, because right now when your customer has like a lot of distributors attending them, maybe I'm not the chosen one. So when you give these quotes with all these descriptions, it's very easy for them to ask their preferred vendor, because you're already giving quotes. For example, in apparel, this is what I think. Can you please tell me what you think?
So your question is, if you're putting a quote together for a client, what prevents them from going to the next person and
Very well descriptive. Yeah.
very well and going to the next? Well, for one thing, if I read your question correctly, it's how do you if you're going to do all the work in the quote and take the time to do it, how do you separate yourself and make sure that you have the best chance to get the business? Number one, you should have done all the work up front to make sure that you're the leader going in, so that as long as you've done your job, that they are going to choose you. And number two, first of all, I wouldn't put item numbers on the items that you put them on quotes. Some of these items are general. I would list them separately, but kind of make it proprietary the best you can by leaving product information off and make it easy for them to choose your business. And more importantly, when you deliver it, ask for the order. I can deliver this for you. How do we get started? Let's get going on this. I'll get started tomorrow. So hopefully if you've got the relationship and you've educated them correctly and you've come up with all the right ideas, but there's always going to be that client. There's price pressures out there right now. So, people can shop around a little bit more today. Again, I kind of touched on number two is don't sell to clients, be a valuable part of them. It's kind of redundant. We've talked about that already. And they set goals, have a winning attitude, and nothing standing in the way of success. So those are some of the habits that I witnessed at top producers. Now a couple tactical things that you can look at for 2011 that I would encourage you all to do. One is to, again, we talked about developing your A, B, and C prospect lists and who you're going to go after. The way to do this is in my mind, very simple. Once you've refined your account list heading into 2011, the next step is to go to the library or the internet to get your Dream 20 or Dream 50 accounts that you want to go after. I like going to the library because I just like having that time right there, and maybe I'm old-fashioned that way. But there are two publications in the library that are very important to get the job done for you. One is the State Industrial Guidebook for your state. The other is the Standard Directory of Advertisers. The Standard Directory of Advertisers and the State Industrial Guidebook will have all sorts of information about all of the key clients in your area, including how much revenue they produce each year, how many employees they have, where their locations are, who the key people are in every area, marketing director, president, all those kind of things. What year they started in business. Think about this. If you go and do the right research in the library this time of the year, and you look for businesses that are having an anniversary in 2011, what better time to approach a client right now and say, hi, I'm Dale Limes. I've been watching your business for some time and wanting to do some really good strategic things for you. I noticed that this year is your 20th anniversary. What plans do you have for that? How can I help you with that? What a great intro. So as you're prospecting for new business in 2011, this is the time to look for milestone anniversaries, and it's very easy, accessible information to find. And so get those two books and look through all the information and go after the key businesses that you want to go after. The one difference between the two is that the Standard Directory of Advertisers will also tell you how much these companies spend in promotional products per year. There's a code on there. It's a book made for advertising agencies, and it actually lists in the book a category of premiums and promotions and tells how much these businesses spend in promotional products per year as reported by that business. So do some research with those books and get your Dream 20 accounts that you want to go after in 2011. It'll be, yeah, question?
Can we get lists like this on the internet?
Both of them are available on the internet. I think you have to pay for them for a subscription. I know Standard Directory of Advertisers you do, but I would Google it. There's a lot of information on the internet, certainly. I just, I liked my quiet time of going to the library, and maybe I'm old-fashioned, but I'd actually copy pages out of those books on the companies that I wanted to go after. Or you could take the companies down and then just go back and Google the companies and find the information that way. But that's a great way to get the year started for your prospecting of the key business. And you can find a lot of hidden gems in your area, especially with the State Industrial Guidebook, because it's more industry. And I like industrial parks. That's a great place for our industry to go prospecting, because that's targeted marketing at its best in the industrial park businesses. And you'll find a lot of hidden industry.